Caleb, the biggest interviewer on the planet at the moment.
Not the biggest, Taylor, the best.
The best.
Right? The most very little negative feedback. Very little.
I watched the whole 2.5 hour thing.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And it's 2 hour, 37 minutes, something like that. And I do this thing. I can't stop it where I like put myself in that position. I have been in the heart of drama. Of course, I'm never been as relevant as Mr. Beast, but in my own little universe, I feel like the middle of it. And I like everywhere I go, someone's giving me shit. And I always, every time, wished that people had the accurate facts. I was like, if these guys knew what they were talking about, they wouldn't be mad at me. Every time I wish that. And I can see why Mr. Beast took the interview, like just to tell his side. Good gosh, everyone's making shit up.
Yeah, and that's, I set out from the very beginning. I made a little part in the very beginning where I was like, listen, guys, conversation, it's not an interview, really, to be honest. We've got questions. They're based on things that I've covered in my own videos. I'm doing the exact same thing I did with Dawson, with Mr. Beast, and which is just ask him about stuff. And most people like that a lot, but there's a strong number of haters that I've currently got right now who did not like my blasé, lackadaisical approach to the extremely serious world-changing revelation of evil.
They didn't think that you took the Mr. Beast YouTube drama as serious as it deserved.
Yeah.
This is like when Oliver Stone went and spoke to Putin. This is the same.
Exactly. It was my moment. It was my Oliver Stone movement.
I had a question. Was there any explanation Mr. Beast gave that now that you've had a few days to sort of stew on it and ponder, you don't buy?
So I'll be real. I haven't even thought about it at all. I've been super busy this week.
Okay.
I've been having such a busy week. Like, it sounds so insane. I know people probably don't believe me, but like, if I had to think of one where I'm just like, I wish I would have asked more about that. I definitely wish I would have asked more of if he still talks to Ava Tyson. And more about the Beast Games, the show that he's releasing, because a lot of that stuff, since it's all NDA'd, it's not released. There's a lot of, he controls the lion's share of information when it comes to that right now. And like, it's a very muddy water. Mr. Beast allegations are very muddy waters.
So I've always been pro Mr. Beast. I like the guy. I think he does, if you remove Mr. Beast from the world gets a little bit worse. Like, he is a net positive. So that's where I'm coming from. It was the crypto thing that made me wonder, right? Like, I heard him tell the story. Gary Vee called me up. He said, buy this crypto. It'll be the best decision of your life. Or take this call. It'll be the best decision of your life. And take the call and they tell him to buy crypto. He does. Did he turn 10 grand into $1 million? Does that sound right?
Oh, wow.
If that's not right, it's close-ish. Like, it was a wild gain. And he might have turned 100 grand into 10 million. It was great. And then he's like, a fund manages all that. And I'm like, well, it might be in a fund. Did you direct the fund? It really sounds like you bought it because of this meeting with Gary Vee.
Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, that's what I called him back at the end of the video, and he said that I asked him multiple times if he had control over the fund, and yes, obviously he had control of the fund, just because the fund, his reasoning, one of his in the main interview, he said that I'm sure that fund was still trading while I was trapped underground, and we could prove that. But there still were instances in which obviously he had control over the fund at some point, like that's inarguable.
If I was like, I'm not responsible for these investments, JP Morgan manages that.
Yeah.
You're like, they do whatever you tell them to via your web browser. Like, I'm still responsible.
Help me out though. Like, I don't know anything about his crypto. So what about it is, why do I care who directed it?
Caleb, do you want to take it or should I?
You can take it. Woody, you seem to care more about this than I do.
Tell me if you see anything wrong with what I'm saying.
No, you're good.
So he was doing nothing, and Gary Vaynerchuk. Do you know this name, Gary Vee?
Nope.
All right, he's a
genius.
He is a marketing genius. He started
entrepreneur.
He was his family sold wine, and they had like a little wine business that teetered along and did whatever. And then he used social media to get kind of famous in the wine world. and like did all these crazy weird things to be better at reviewing wines than other people. He's like, if I'm going to say wine tastes like sweaty socks, I need to literally know what sweaty socks taste like. So this is me expanding my palate, like that kind of stuff that broke the mold of other wine like reviewers and podcasts, etc. Well, anyway, once he got sort of cooking in this like wine world of social media, he expanded it beyond that, and he wrote books. I've listened to like 4 of this guy's audiobooks. And some of them have like really influenced the way that I think about certain business topics. And his core competency is sort of this like marketing, influencing, buying Facebook ads and stuff like that. And I guess he called Mr. Beast, said, get in this conference call. It'll be the best decision of your life. Right away, the kind of bold salesman sort of statements. And they told these guys to buy crypto. And it did fabulously well. I don't want to promise I have my numbers right, but it's something like that. Like he dropped 100
like 20x
grand.
or something. But my question is, why do I care?
The accusation is he traded on inside info and sort of got in and got out with information that made it an unfair playing field.
What would that information be? I need to know.
Like when to buy and when to sell. Like he got in before this thing popped. He sold while it was at the peak, and no one else had this insider info.
Yeah, I would need to know what that info is, though, right? Because I'm gonna tell you, like Harley told me to buy Bitcoin 8 years ago. I did. So far, I'm up $50,000. Now is Harley in trouble?
Yes,
he's an insider.
No, this is a coin that like people hadn't heard of. That was nothing. You know, people come up with new coins. All the CX coin, like I think it's a little bigger than the CX coin, but it's something that no one had heard of before Mr. Beast bought it. And then when famous people bought it, I think he even tweeted about it. You know, like little hints that this thing is where everyone's going, and
were people accusing a rug pull situation? Is that?
Well, he didn't own the coin. He just got in and out at the perfect. It's more like a Hillary Clinton cattle trading situation.
Okay.
And that's the accusation. And then he was like, well, that's all in a fund. I don't know anything about it. And it's like, that doesn't jive with your other story of Gary Vee getting you on the phone, telling you attend that. That was the one where I was like, and by the way, on like the scale of evil, this is pretty mild, right?
Yeah. I don't care even in a. So I care about the crypto stuff when I feel like a fan base has been victimized. When you have someone who is utilized, like they're big in the cooking world or the cosmetic world, and suddenly they say, "Hey, now I'm in the crypto world. Buy fucking Maybelline coin or whatever," and then they pull the rug and they take their fan base for a ride for a few $100,000 or $1 million or whatever it may be. But that's not what we got here,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
what we have here is, hey, buy this on the 1st, sell it on the 13th. You'll make $10 million.
What we got is Mr. Beast needs to tweet us occasionally when he's got one of these 20x.
That's what I meant. 100%, Kyle. That's the correct take. I'm mad that he isn't DMing me with these things ahead of time.
You guys know he owns my channel, my business. Have you heard that?
He owns you. You're his bitch.
I'm his bitch. The reason he chose. So listen to this. This is the new conspiracy. It's even on my second channel. People are commenting this. Is it true that Mr. Beast owns part of your startup? My candy company that I have. So there's a company called Creative Juice, and Creative Juice invests in creators. 2021, they bought a percentage of my channel and gave me money so I could start up my business. That business is somehow connected to Mr. Beast. You know, it's a creator forward business. There's not one in which he's not connected to, right? Especially in 2021. And because of that, because I got $250,000, that somehow makes Mr. Beast, they gave him enough power over me to give him this interview that made him apparently look incredibly good. And also, but it doesn't take into consideration the 10 videos where I like vocally and blatantly propagated lies and misinformation about him.
Online, you did that?
I maybe did that. I maybe did that.
Never once.
Tongue in cheek. Well, he knows. He knows, Kyle. Don't worry. I asked him about it. He said it was okay because he owns part of my YouTube channel and my candy company. Those are all lies. It's all facetious. But that's the big thing though right now is that he owned. The reason I was so nice to him And the reason that I asked him softball questions is because he owns my channel, and he wanted the easiest platform with the least pushback. But he didn't want to make a statement on his own channels where he would have zero pushback, because that wouldn't make sense. He wanted to come on.
Every single thing you said untrue.
It's all conspiracy. It's all. I'm being harangued, Woody. I'm being harangued.
Okay,
right
but he never invested in your candy company.
So that part he didn't, but Creative Juice did. Creative Juice gave me money for a percentage of for a 22% interest rate, basically usury. It's like hard money lending. They try to dive into they're bankrupt now. They don't exist anymore.
Wow. So you took $250,000 from the Creative Jews, and now they own
No, Taylor, no.
Oh, I understand.
No, it's it was literally like they used AdSense as collateral. It was a bad deal, but it absolutely helped me. I never spoke to Mr. Beast. It was good for me at the time. Like it was great. I'm not, but with the level of sense that I have now, and there's more of I actually have like equity in the business now, so I can get money from traditional lending, which is superior by a million times. But it would be just like starting any business. You get a high interest rate, they expect a high return. It's a big risk, whatever. Okay, that's very normal.
Right.
Like in the world of business, it's very normal.
What did they like? What is the thing that everybody's mad about? Like, what topic do they think you should have gone hard? Was it like he hired a sex pest knowingly, like that accusation? Yeah, it's that. They are mad that I didn't ask about Shadman, but I did. There's literally comments who are like, there's thousands of people who are upset that I didn't ask about Shadman, and Ava Tyson had Shadman shit on her wall, and like
there were accusations of him not paying for the eye surgeries. And then this is just a great example of once all the facts come out, you look at it through a different lens. So here's what he did. He made a video saying, I cured 1,000 people's vision. Okay. Truth is, he cured 1,800 people's vision. Also, through some mistake, like he didn't pay for 20 of the surgeries, or he paid someone who was supposed to pay someone else for 20 of the surgeries. And when he heard that he stiffed them, he calls his own people, says, is it true that we didn't pay them? They look into it. 20 of the surgeries weren't paid for, because not through his fault, but because like the guy he paid didn't send it forward. So he double paid for those 20 and made it right. This is not an evil person, right? But they spread it like he didn't pay for all 1,000. And he's like, it doesn't make sense. Once you know all the facts, like there were 800 I didn't even talk about. And they're like, oh, people say that I do this just for content. And I'm sure that's like a little bit true. But he's like, we had way more patients than we needed footage from. If somebody didn't want to be in the video, they absolutely had that choice. I don't know how many people in the video, but I'm going to make up like, it could have been more than like 30 people who had any substantial amount of camera time. And he did 1,000. Like anyone was free not to participate in the video. He didn't need all. I said he did 1,000, 1,800. He didn't need all 1,800 of them. So once you know the facts, Mr. Beast comes out looking better and better. That was the takeaway from the whole thing.
What's the number one criticism you're getting? Just the softball thing, Caleb?
It's that I'm a terrible interviewer. That it was a softball that I spent too much time trying to relate myself to him. I agreed with everything he said as well, apparently. Which is, I think that, the way that whenever I talk to people, I say yes, or yeah, okay, that makes sense. That doesn't mean I agree with you 110%. And my brain, what you just said is now the reality in my brain. It's just an acknowledgement of communication. It's like my, in a sense. But that's that's a big criticism, just, around my ability to interview people, which, once again, I think is very fair. I am good at funny interviews or like more personal things. I'm not an investigative journalist, and I will never pretend to be ever. I would love to, do some more serious things and talk about some more serious topics, but I'm not going to be the guy who's going to get the scoop. It's just not me. I'm not good at that. That's
having
coffee.
Watched it. That is a good piece of feedback, I think. Like if your version of active listening is like fact checking along the way when it's not meant to be that, It's a small thing, but it's a growth opportunity.
Yeah. That's what I was saying is, a lot of the feedback and the criticism, most of it, there are nuggets of truth. And then some of it is like you are bought and paid for by Mr. Beast. But that one doesn't really make sense because I've made more money off of shitting on Mr. Beast than I did from the fucking investment that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Go ahead.
When Mr. Beast shows up, what's his entourage like? Like how many people show up with Mr. Beast?
He rolls. If Mr. Beast is okay. Calls me in the morning. This is the whole story. This is the story of the day. Okay, this is the story of the day because this is very important for this. This is how Mr. Beast rolls. He called me in the morning, probably 11 o'clock, maybe noon. He says, I think I want to come on your channel and do an interview. And then I was like, oh, sounds good, man. That's great. That's great. And obviously for me, that's awesome.
That's wonderful news. Thank you.
Yeah, this is wonderful news. And he's like asking his PA and is talking to, can we rearrange this? Can we and he's talking to his guy, rearranging shit for 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm just like, all right, what time you come? Let's get it all figured out. First it was 4. And then at around 2, it became 8. He was coming at 8. Okay. Coming at 8 o'clock. He's in Greenville, North Carolina. I'm in Central Texas in the middle of nowhere with no big cities around. So how is he going to get there in a short amount of time, in a reasonable amount of time? He's going to fly a private jet to the nearest airport. And then he's going to drive from there to my house. That is exactly what he did. He shows up at 8 o'clock. By the way, I released a very long video that I'm actually very proud of. And I announced a game and a game development studio that I've been working on and a part of at 3 o'clock that day. And that was obviously substantially more important to me because there's people I'm talking to. We're releasing this game and it's just a massive, very important thing for me. And the priority of that just in general compared to YouTube content, especially drama, is night and day. Yeah. Very easy to determine my priorities. You
intentionally structure your content this way because it would dilute the release of what you just did. Yeah.
So that's very important for me. And then I had to clean my house and then I had to set up my cameras and then Mr. B showed up. So I had probably about 2 hours in total to think. I'm cleaning, doing shit, thinking, and I'm excited. This is going to be cool. A little bit nervous.
You're cleaning up. Oh my goodness, Mr. Beast is coming over.
Oh my goodness, I was cleaning.
I don't want to know I keep the towels on the bathroom floor.
I like to picture that off camera, Mr. Beast is benevolent in a shitty way, throwing socks full of quarters at homeless people from the window of his limo, firing wads of cash through a t-shirt gun at the chest of the homeless people.
Yeah, he arrived at 8. He arrived at 8 or 7:45 or something like that, called me and was like, where the fuck am I? And then he showed up 15 minutes later. So he flew into an airport that was 15 minutes away. I didn't know there was an airport 15 minutes away for one. And then shows up and walks in, emerges out of the darkness. He's got 3 guys with him. I do not remember their names. I know one of their names. I don't know any of their names. I don't remember any of their names. One of PA, and they were very regular dudes. These were regular, just super regular people. I thought it was going to be, the most crazy thing was that he had a black SUV with a driver that sat out in it the whole time, which was so baller. That's amazing.
Is that what he used?
That's
a black
SUV. A black SUV. I know. I don't know where this stuff came from. I thought that was really cool.
Well, he had a car service meet him at the airport.
That's true. You're right.
Car service in nowhere.
You're right, Kyle.
Yeah. When you don't care if something costs 8 times what it normally does, then it will just show up where you want it.
I mean,
that's true.
It's pretty cool.
That's a good point. It was cool. When you think about it like that, logically, it's less cool. But
no, it's gay.
Yeah. Shit. Was it like a Ford or a Chevy?
Dude, I think it was an Escalade.
It was an Escalade. How do you feel about that?
Airport I've ever been to will
now
give you
I know
a free
that it was
car.
a car service.
People don't know this. You can just fly into an airport and they'll give you a car. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. I think the idea is you've got your jet or even your Cessna worth 60 grand there. They give you this $3,000 car. It's no big deal. I think it's funny because I show up in a used paramotor and ski clothing because it's cold up there. Yeah. And then I land, I leave my jacket at the airport, and I drive off in their car. And it's like, wait a minute, this thing's worth more than your shitty backpack. But that was my assumption, but I guess it was wrong.
Dude, Mr. Beast, like 100% serious. So he was coming to my house to interview him, which could be one of the most damaging things he could do to his career. Just come to my house and be like, today I'm going to ask you many questions.
Oh my God.
Just for an hour. Like, if he pulled up in like a Hyundai accent, I'd be like, and like some Indian guy dropped him off. Like, go fuck yourself. This guy. No, I need that big SUV sitting out there feeling like he's a baller.
It was weird.
You know what? I felt sorry for him. So there are these lies spread out about Mr. Beast. And then he would have proof that refuted the lies. Like, look, here's some video that counters the story that is it Dogpack? I don't know these people.
Yeah.
That counters the story that like Dogpack was lying about him. Cool. And he'd show it to other YouTubers and they'd be like, yeah, but the thing is, you're toxic right now. And if I support you, it could hurt my own brand. So you're on your own. And I was like, oh, that sucks. He can't find a friend right now. And I felt bad for him. We here on PKA, we're always on his corner.
Why don't you come over here, Mr. Beast? We're friendly. Beast, we're nice.
Mr. Beast.
We'll clean up.
We're good optics.
Dude,
I won't even call you soft A's when you're here.
I want to ask you, like when he showed up, though, because I would have thought, look, if I'm Mr. Beast, I'm going to have one security guy with me in case somebody scoops me up, starts pulling my fingernails off, wanting my crypto fucking keys, right? Like, like I'm gonna tell you right now, all it takes is some pliers. You get 2 or 3 million out of Mr. Beast in like 15 minutes, right? Like we just, you know,
so these guys could have been a form of security, but they were wearing t-shirts and like fucking, I don't remember. Honestly, it's such a blur. That day was way too long. That was like an 18-hour day. It was fucking crazy.
But like taking him down,
dude. One of the first jokes I wanted to make, which I didn't, I refrained from because people would have thought I was a fucking psychopath if I would have done this now, given the response, is I was going to show my appendix care and be like, this is for my safety. That's how I begin the interview.
That would have been a bad idea.
Yeah. No, don't listen to that. Dude, that would have been funny.
The nerd on his left would have killed you in the split.
I know, dude. He's a fucking nerd. Dude, they seemed like just guys. Like, I didn't know if they were just in town and he just picked him up. It was really odd.
Did they talk?
They did a little bit, but like not. They were just. They just looked like normal people.